Now I want to show you how I would handle this bird if I happen to come across it with line entanglement and it couldn't fly. Remember, if it's flying, even if its legs are entangled and it flies, you're rarely going to be able to catch it. And I'm not encouraging you to do this, as I said, especially with a bird like this. But here's how I would handle it. I would take it by the back, oops. If it's over in a corner, I'd try to corner it, take it behind the head. Now that's a really long neck and that's a really long beak. That beak's going to be used to defend itself. And if my eyeballs are anywhere near, they're going to be gone. So also sunglasses are good, but always keep the head away. And then I would come around, this is kind of hard with my mic, but I'd come around with this arm while this hand's holding onto the head. Let's see. Grab around the wings and then grab onto the legs. These legs, oh, thank you. These legs are also very long, very strong, but also very fragile. So if the bird's kicking and hits something, we could easily break the leg. So we don't want to injure them any further. Thank you, that's good. And that just comes from all of my handling experience. Don't handle egrets. Call animal control, they'll come out and help you out with that. So this is a great egret, and it has a cousin that lives right here. Let's see if I can find it. That you'll oftentimes see, mostly on the bait dogs. They love to beg for bait, and I know sometimes they can be pesky, but they're quite lovely. Does anyone know what this bird is? And you can see it's also an egret by those features, right? Long legs, long beak, long neck, white plumage. Look at those fancy pansy feet. This is a snowy egret, and they're actually about maybe a third of that size of the great egret. And they have these beautiful yellow feet, like they just stood in paint, dipped themselves in paint. And they nest over here by the fuel dock. If anybody has been over there, oh my gosh. They have the craziest vocalizations during their nesting and courtship. Listen to this. I'm going to see if I can get it up here. Because when I first heard it, I'm like, what? Okay, listen. Can you hear that? I don't know how well you can hear that, but it is just this crazy kind of a gurgling, and then they sound like they're choking, and it just sounds like somebody's being murdered over there. But it's actually snow egrets nesting, and they also nest with their cousins. And there's a hand up, so I'm going to go ahead and take that hand. What's your question? Yes, it is a real egret. I don't know how that one died, but somebody found it, took it to the Audubon Society. They put it into a taxidermy skin and pose, and now we have it for educational purposes. Okay, so the snowy egrets, Kaylani, can you take these around? Also nest with their friends, the black-crowned night herons. Now those two birds that you can see look totally different in their plumage, but they look very familiar in their shape, right? They both have a thick, stocky beak. They both have kind of I call it a hunchback of Notre Dame pose. Their necks are always kind of hunched up, and they have short, stocky legs. That's the black-crowned night heron, so also in the heron and egret family, nesting up over there with the snowy egrets. The adults have beautiful black crown, white and gray plumage. The kids, they're all splotchy looking and streaky. So you might even think it's a different species, but it's actually the same species that takes about 2 years to grow into its adult plumage, to molt into its adult plumage. How are we doing time was?
We got like 2 minutes.
Okay, we got like 2 minutes. So let me just tell you about my very favorite bird, who is also on this. Oh, this is a double-crested cormorant. They also nest right over here with the great blue herons in stick nests way up in the trees. And they're the ones that if you pull in under the parking lot, into the parking lot under the eucalyptus, your car's going to get pooped on big time. So you probably don't want to park there. And that's white, and it gets kind of stinky and messy. They're fish eaters, so they poop out fish smell. Double-crested cormorant. My favorite bird is the pelican, brown pelican. Absolutely love brown pelicans. They're very gentle. Of all the birds that we've disentangled or sent into rehab, they are the gentlest, actually. They have that big long bill, but it's really only used for catching fish to put into their pouch and then swallowing. Kaylani, can you take these around real quick? Show the adult versus the juvenile plumage, the young plumage.
Is there a adult?
That's the young one. Yeah. The brown is the young bird. And I always say, oh, look, there's so many brownies out there today. They had a really good year this year. You'll see a ton of brown pelicans on the end of the jetties. And then the adults have the beautiful white and gray plumage. So same species, just different ages. And if you want to get into birds more, Sea and Sage Audubon, please Google it. My number at the bottom of that document, which is on Vicky's website, Stand Up to Trash. Call me. I love to take people out and turn them on to birds. Thank you so much, and if you have any questions, please ask them.
I have a question.
Thank you. Vicky has a question.
So are osprey, because I see an osprey in here, are ospreys normal for this environment?
Yes, osprey. Osprey is a fish eagle. It's not a bald eagle, but it's actually a fish eagle with special spigots on its feet for grabbing fish. And they live in the area. There's a pair. I'm not sure where they nest, but they definitely like to fish in the harbor and fish close by. They're beautiful black and white raptors. I think we got it all.
Okay.
We'll collect your